This is our first tutorial video explaining how to install our Cyogene IoddCom IO-Link communication software for Python. It will also show how to activate your license and how to access your first device. So first we need to download the package. For this we go to the web page and then we go to the download section. And here we download the latest installer package for online installation, which is suitable for most cases. There are also other packages available in case of needing offline installation. For more information, you can follow here the link. So now we are going to extract the zip package which we downloaded. And we go into the installation folder and we open a command line shell to use the install command. Here we use it for Linux. For other operating systems like Windows or macOS, it's quite similar. So we enter the install script. We can first examine the help to see which commands are available. Now we want to install the library into a virtual environment. This is recommended to isolate the workspace from other package dependencies. We call it here IoddCom -venv and we start the installation. Now we see that here the UDEF rules failed to install because the privileges are not sufficient. This is for Linux only, as we are using here Linux. For Windows and macOS, the UDEF rules doesn't need to be installed. These UDEF rules are needed under Linux to support USB masters. So we need to install them with root privileges. So we execute the same command with sudo. And now we see the rules have been installed. Now we are going to use an IDE for activating the license and access our first device. We use here Pyzo. It is a quite simple Python IDE with good scripting functionalities. In Pyzo we create now a new shell. We go here, edit shell configurations, and we add config and give it a name, for example IoddCom, and then we enter here the binary to the virtual environment. For this we go to the commander and we go to the virtual environment binary path and copy the path. And then we paste it here and add the binary name Python. And then we acknowledge it. And now we select the newly created shell. And this is it. Now we can use it. Now we import the package. From Cyogene we import IoddCom. Now it's available for usage. And now we activate the license for the current user. We enter the activation code. And here we need the license code. For this we go to the web page. We go to the license center, copy the license code and paste it here. Then we need the licensee name. We go back, copy that and enter, and we install for the user. So the license has been activated. Now we can check this with the command. about, and we see the license code and the duration. It's a demo license for 30 days. I will also show how to activate the license for all users, not just for the active one. For this, we first deactivate the license. And then we can use the same command with user equals false. However, in most operating systems, this requires root or admin privileges for global configurations. So we show how to use that. So we use here the command line shell again, and we use the license script of command line shell. Again, we can check the options with help, and then we use the virtual environment where the package has been installed, and then we enter again the license code and the licensing name, and then we need sudo before to have root privileges, and we execute, and we see license successfully activated. So again, we can check. Now we are ready to use this license for all users in this operating system, which is needed if you want to use for many users the same license on the same computer. Now we can go on to access our first device. For this, please check in your case to have an IO-Link master attached to your system. There are supported various USB and Ethernet masters. In case of Ethernet masters, they have to be in the same subnet mask of your network. Otherwise, the automatic master discovery will fail to find them. So we first create an IoddCom object. And then we connect to the first available device this object. And it's connected. It shows this with true response. And we can examine the object itself to show some basic information. So we see here the identification, the name, and the application specific tag, and some settings. And now we can read out the direct parameter page 1, which is showing basic properties of the connection. And here you see the device ID, the IO-Link version, the cycle time, the frame types, and so on. We can also now read the device identification. And here you see all the identification informations, vendor name, product name, firmware version, and so on. We can look the informations also about the master of that device. You see the master address, it's an USB device, and the vendor and firmware version, and so on, and the number of ports. Now we can check the variables used by this device by examining the help. We use with the double question marks, we get more informations, and we see here the index, the name, the ID, read-write properties, and the type of all the available variables. And we can now write, for example, the application specific tag. Demo. So we write the tag, Okay, it's a wrong one, so this is not known. We can ask for help. Okay, this is the naming, so this is helpful. With a question mark we can search for available variable names. So it's application specific tag. The naming case is not important. And then demo device. And it has been written. We can read the device identification and we see it has been changed here. It's demo device now. And we can also now read the sensor process data. And we get here the process data result. Now in the end, we can disconnect from the device. You have now learned how to install the Cyogene IoddCom for Python, how to activate your license and how to connect to a device. If you are interested in learning more about our Cyogene IoddCom IO-Link library, please refer to our further tutorials. Thank you for watching.